Welcome back, everyone. Here is how the story has developed. Nnamdi Kanu was arrested October 14, 2015 on an 11-count charge bordering on terrorism and treasonable felony. 6 of the charges, including that of terrorism, were struck out early in 2017. He was then granted bail based on those conditions listed earlier on the program on April the 25th. In September, Operation Python Dance was initiated by the Nigerian Army, and there was a confrontation between soldiers and IPOB members in Abia State. Kanu's whereabouts has been unknown since September the 14th. Let's continue the conversation. Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Chief Miles Ozekome, has been in our Abuja studio, and senior journalist and editor and columnist of the Guardian newspaper, Mr. Martins Oloja, is here with us in Lagos. The premise the senior advocate has given here gives us the opportunity to begin the conversation from this side of the divide now. What do you make of how this whole thing has panned out? A lot of agitations, and now we cannot see Mr. Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes, we cannot see him, and I hope the questions posed by the senior advocate of Nigeria will not blow in the wind, because if you look at the chronology of events, this today. They mentioned today that he would appear in court today before the invasion of his house. And so people will be wondering, why did they invade his house? And when they invaded his house, after that time, no one has heard, no one has seen, he has not issued any statement, to the extent that people will be insinuating that maybe the guy is missing, maybe he's been killed, maybe he has escaped. Nobody has seen him, nobody has heard from him. You know, this thing is both judicial and political. It's a political issue. And the one is talking about now management of crisis, which is part of nation building, as someone has written. Managing a crisis like this is what we are faced with. And it is the issue that we should face, because the issue of Kanu has assumed some political coloration to the extent that now we are saying, this one, is it a judicial issue or a political issue? Yes, he has to face the law. They are in court. But outside the court, there is politics. So the political color of what is going on has implications on even the cohesion that we are aiming at. This is coming at a time we are talking about restructuring, devolution of powers. This one you saw even when they brought Abaribe. Instead of tracking what he said today, what came up was restructuring, devolution of power. That's what everybody, that's the issue of the day.
But I mean, if you look at the trend of events in the Southeast, it's clear that there were some issues with violence, issues of confrontation. If you hear the story of the Nigerian military, do you think that the military had erred in that regard? Because I mean, if they had not come in at that time, would we have been talking about a peaceful Abia State?
No, definitely the issue had been discussed, and people asked questions about, did the police show, because the here and on different platforms, the military authorities had said, well, according to the Constitution, they can aid civil authority if they were helpless. That police had not declared that they were helpless, and then the case was already in court when they invaded the place. When they did all this issue, when they did this, the guy was already enjoying his bail. And prior to that time, you should remember the issue of procrastination. Even people from Kanu's place were calling on government to revoke the bail. When they gave him the bail, they signed the bail bond, they said he should not. When he started holding rallies, when he started granting interviews, when he started talking to people of more than 10, people, even from the East, were saying, this guy, why was he doing this? Government kept quiet. Military kept quiet. All the police kept quiet. They allowed him to do a lot of things before military came in.
As it stands now, Mr. Oloja, do you see a possible political intervention in all of these cases? Because now you said it has a political side to it.
Yes.
The president did meet with leaders in the Southeast.
Yes.
Well, as it stands now, if Mr. Kanu is not produced, and at the end of the day, the judicial course will definitely have its way.
Yeah, definitely, they will have its way. But you know, even a former president of this country had advised that, no, why not talk to this guy? People, leaders of thought, had advised that talk to him. What is he? And even former president.
But isn't the case past that level now?
No, it hasn't passed that level.
When you cannot even find him.
No, definitely it should have been done. That is why I mentioned procrastination is the thief of time. Even former President Bill Clinton, former U.S. president, writes in his own biography, no one says no to the president. If the president had called him, if they had called him, authorities had called this guy, what is this guy? The guy cannot be bigger than his country. He cannot be bigger than the authorities, but it depends on handling. Okay. I remember as if it were yesterday, you know, even former President Obasanjo, you sent a presidential jet to bring 2 militants from South to Abuja for discussion, for negotiation. And that set the tone for ending agitation in the South. All right. Dokubo Asari and the other guy.
Tompolo.
No, not Tompolo.